Hi everyone, this is Irene. I hope all are safe and healthy at home, stay safe and stay connected with us. Vidya Lakshmi Senior Secondary School welcomes you all to our YouTube channel. Join us to celebrate the joy of learning at Vidya Lakshmi Senior Secondary School. In my previous video, you have learned about Introduction to Python, the tokens of Python such as keywords, identifiers and one of the literals, string literal. In this video, we are going to learn about the other literals, numeric literals, boolean literals and the special literal none. Let us begin now. Numeric literal. So, we are going to see about what are numeric literals. You know very well, literals are values. When it comes to numeric literals, what are numeric literals? You have to learn. So, numeric literals are numeric values. They are nothing but numeric values. The numeric literals can be represented in any of these forms. It may be represented as integer literals, floating point literals or complex number literals. The integer literals can be represented in decimal form, octal form or hexadecimal form, and also the floating point literals can be represented in fractional form as well as in the exponent form. So, about these things we are going to learn in the coming session. Let us learn about integer literals. Let us see what are integer literals. Integers or ints are positive or negative whole numbers with no decimal point in it. If a number does not have any decimal point in it, that is going to be referred as the integers, and also the integers can be positive or negative numbers also. That's why here it is said as signed integers. And also we can just see what are the three types of integers allowed by Python. Python allows the decimal integer literals, octal integer literals and the hexadecimal integer literals. So, Python allows these three integer literals, in decimal integer literal, octal integer literal and hexadecimal integer literal. So, now let us see what are the integer literals in decimal form. The integer literal in decimal form consists of an integer beginning with the digits 1 to 9. If the integer begins with the number 1 to 9, then that number is referred as the integer literal in decimal form. For example, you can see the example here 123. In this example, if you see the first digit, it is between the numbers 1 and 9. So, this number is treated as the integer literal in decimal form. Also, if you see the next number, it is 6500. If you refer the first digit, it is between the numbers 1 and 9. So, this number 6500 is also referred as the integer literal in decimal form. Let us see the integer literal in octal form. The integer literal in octal form consists of an integer beginning with 0 followed by the letter O. If a number begins with 0 followed by the letter O and after that any valid combination of numbers between 0 and 7, then that number will be considered as the integer literal in octal form. Octal number system consists of 8 digits. The valid numbers of the octal system are 0 to 7. So, any number combination between 0 and 7, if it is followed by 0, O, then that number is treated as the integer literal in octal form. Let us see the example now. You can see 0, O, 2, 3 is given. So, according to our rule, it starts with 0 followed by the letter O and the valid combination. According to our rule, the octal number system has the numbers between 0 and 7. So, 2 and 3 are between 0 and 7 only. So, this number is treated as the integer literal in octal form. You have another example also. It starts with 0 followed by the letter O and followed by 6 and 7. These 6 and 7 are the valid digits of octal number system. So, these two numbers are the integer literals in octal form. In this, the numbers 8 and 9 are not allowed. If we use 8 and 9 in the numbers, when we represent the number after 0, then that number will be considered as an invalid number. The reason, in the octal number system, we do not have any numbers as such 8 and 9, because octal number system consists of only 0 to 7. 8 and 9 are not considered as the valid numbers of octal. For that reason, if you have 8 and 9, that becomes the invalid octal form. Okay. So now let us move on to the hexadecimal form. So the hexadecimal form, integer literal in hexadecimal form, consists of an integer beginning with 0 followed by the letter x. If any number, if it begins with 0 followed by the letter x, then that will be treated as the integer literal in hexadecimal form. Followed by 0 and x, what are the valid combination of numbers can be there is, it can have 0 to 9 and A to F. The hexadecimal number system consists of 16 digits. The valid combination of numbers of hexadecimal system are 0 to 9 and A to F. So after 0x, if any valid combination of numbers between 0 to 9 and A to F, if it has, then that number can be treated as the integer literal in hexadecimal form. Let us see some examples now. You can see the example 0x5b. Already I told the valid combination of digits that can be used in the hexadecimal number system are 0 to 9 and A to F. So if 0 as well as x, if it is followed by the numbers between 0 and 9 as well as the numbers between A and F, then that will be treated as the valid integer literal in hexadecimal form. You can see the next example 0x followed by 5FACE. So this is also one of the valid integer literal in hexadecimal form. So these are the integer literals allowed by Python. Now let us move on to floating point literals. We have learned about the integer literals. They can be represented in a decimal form, octal form and hexadecimal form we have learned. Now let us learn about floating point literals. Floating point literals are real literals. Floating point literals or real literals represent real numbers and are written with the decimal point. We have learned about integer literal. Integer literals are whole numbers without any fractional point or decimal point in it. But the floating point literals are also referred as real literals. They are used to represent the real numbers and also they are written with the decimal point in it. If any number is written with the decimal point in it, then that number is represented as the floating point literals. So now let us see some examples and how these floating point literals can be represented in a programming languages. We will see. The floating point literals may be written in fractional form or in the exponent form. In two forms, the floating point numbers can be written. They are fractional form or the exponent form. So let us see what are fractional form. Fractional form consists of signed or unsigned digits including decimal point between the digits. So we have learned about integers. Integers, they do not have any decimal point in it, but these fractional form, they can have a decimal point in it. These can be signed as well as unsigned also. Let us see some examples. So for example 3.0. This 3.0 is considered as a floating point literal in a fractional form because there is a decimal point between the numbers. And also you can see 15.9, this number also treated as the floating point literal in a fractional form. And also for these two numbers, when you see, there is no sign before the number. When there is no sign before the numbers, they are treated as the positive numbers. You can see here minus 10.0. So this number has a sign before it. So this number is treated as a signed number. You can see here signed or unsigned digits, right? So here some unsigned numbers are here. Here there is a signed number. So if unsigned or signed, if they have a decimal point in it, they are treated as the floating point literals in a fractional form. You can see the third and fourth numbers, they all have a sign before the numbers. So 0.00823, this number also it has a sign as well as it has got a decimal point in it. That's why it is referred as a floating point literal in the fractional form. You can see 0.2 is given, automatically it will be considered as 0.2, and also you can see the last number is given as 4 point, that also internally automatically it will be taken as 4.0. Let us see what are the exponent form, because we have learned the floating point number can be represented in two forms. One is fractional form and another one is exponent form. Now let us learn how the exponent form it is going to be. So now most calculators and many computer programs present very large and very small numbers in scientific notation. So many calculators and in computer programs, if you see, very large as well as very small numbers. Very small numbers means the negative numbers, right? The very large numbers are very big numbers. They are represented in the scientific notation. So what is scientific notation? It is a way of writing the very large and very small numbers are represented as scientific notation. So in an exponent form, when you have to write a number, very large number or very small number, how do we write? Any given real number can be written in the form m multiplied by 10 power n in many ways. If you have any given number, okay, any given real numbers are the floating point numbers. The floating point numbers, they have a decimal point in it, and before and after the decimal point they have many number of digits. So if any given real number, if you wanted to represent it in the exponent form, it can be written in m multiplied by 10 power n in many different ways. Not only in one way, it can be represented in many different ways. Just for example, if I have a number 245, this can be written in 2.45 multiplied by number 2. This and these are equal, both of these are equal, and same as the same number can be written as 24.5 multiplied by 10 power 1 also, or even it can be written as 245 multiplied by 10 power 0 also. You know very well 10 power 0 is equal to 1. So 1 multiplied by 245, it is going to be 245 only. So this is a given number. This number can be represented in this form, that is m multiplied by 10 power n in so many ways. Not only in one way, see here itself I have represented in 3 ways. So the given number can be represented in m multiplied by 10 power n in so many different ways. So the exponent form, here we are just expressing in tens power. The same number, it is expressed in the tens power. So the exponent form m multiplied by 10 power n, okay, or you can just say m times n 10 raised to the power of n, m times 10 raised to the power of n. So how this can be just converted like from fractional form to the exponent form, we will just see here. This is actually the exponent form. When the number is given in the fractional form, how it can be converted in the exponent form, we must know. Here when we convert into the exponent form, here the m remains at least 1 but less than number 10. This m. So when we convert the normal real number into the exponent form, so it takes this form m multiplied by 10 power n. This m must be at least 1. It must be at least 1 but it should be less than 10. You can see here 1 less than or equal to m less than 10. It can be 1, 1, 2, it can be 9. It should not be 10. Okay, so what is the meaning of this one is the decimal point is moved after the first digit of a given number. So in any given number, the decimal point has to move after the first digit of a number. So when it moves after the first digit of a number, automatically m remains 1 to 9. So the rule is when we convert the fractional form into exponent form, it takes this form, that is m multiplied by 10 power n. This m's value should be between 1 and 9, right. So, the meaning is when we move the decimal points, right, it has to be moved after the first digit of a given number, that is the meaning. So, let us see this one by the given example and also the rules of conversion, that is fractional form to exponent form. How are we going to convert, that it is being given here. The first rule is move the decimal separator point sufficient places. So, the decimal point has to be moved to the sufficient places, that is n number of digits. Maybe decimal point will be there somewhere. From there already we have learnt it has to be moved after the first digit. The decimal point has to be moved after the first digit, because when we convert the fractional form into exponent form, it takes the form of m multiplied by 10 power n. So, that m value should be between 1 and 9. So, if we move the decimal point from wherever place after the first digit, surely the first digit is going to be between the numbers of 1 and 9. So, that is why move the decimal separator point sufficient places. So, how many digits we are moving, that many digit is represented as number n. Okay. So, now the next thing what are we going to do is, if the decimal point was moved to the left, if we are moving the decimal point towards the left, we have to append it as 10 power n. Number of digits we are moving, how many ever number of digits we are moving towards the left, that number of digits is going to be n, that is plus n. If I am moving the decimal point towards the left, then I am just going to append it as 10 power n. So, just for example, you can see 234.32 is there. This is a given number. So, this given number has to be converted into the exponent form. So, according to the rule, I have to move the decimal point after the first digit of a given number. So, the entire number when I take, the decimal point is here. So, this decimal point I have to move it after the first digit of a number. The first digit of the given whole number, entire number, not a whole number. The entire number is number 2. Okay. So, this number 2, after this number 2, I have to move this point, right. So, it will be taking the form 2.3432. So, what form it has taken? 2.3432, right. How many digits I have moved? I have moved 2 digits. So, what is the value of n is going to be? N is going to be 2. And also, what is the rule here? If I am moving the decimal point towards the left, right, if I am moving the decimal point towards the left, I will be appending it as 10 power n, that is positive n, right. So, the value of n is number of digits, how many ever digits, okay, the decimal places is being moved, the number of digits, 2 digits I have moved. So, here I am going to write it as 10 power 2. So, how many digits I have moved? 2 digits I have moved towards the left. That is why here the powers of 10, it takes positive n. So, it becomes 10 power 2. In the same way, suppose if the decimal point was moved to the right, append 10 power minus n. Suppose if I move the decimal point towards the right direction, to me towards the right direction, to me this will be the left direction, right. So, if the decimal point is moved towards the right direction, I have to append 10 power minus n. So, let us see the example here. This is a given number 0.003432, right. This given number has to be written in a exponent form. So, how can I write? I have to move the decimal point after the first digit, right, because here 0 and all I am not going to consider. So, here the first digit I am going to take is number 3. So, my decimal point where it is there as 0.00, but I am going to take the number as 3. So, this decimal point has to move after the digit 3. So, how many decimal digits I am moving here? I am moving 3 digits. So, 3 digits I am moving. So, the value of n is going to be 3. Towards which direction I have moved? Towards the right direction I have moved, right. So, when I move towards the right direction, what I have to append? I have to append it as 10 power minus n. So, here the value of n is 3. So after moving the decimal point after 3, this will be taking this form as 3.432, then multiplied by 10 power, the value of n is 3. So I have to represent it in negative. So I am just representing it as 10 power minus 3. This is how we convert the fractional form into exponent form. Always keep in your mind, when you move the decimal point towards the left, always you have to represent it in positive powers of 10. When you move the decimal point towards the right, always you have to represent in negative powers of 10. This is how we just move it. Now let us see how this will be written in an exponent form. So when we write it in an exponent form, it consists of mantissa and exponent. The exponent form, the floating point literal in exponent form consists of mantissa and exponent. Let us see what is mantissa. So suppose if this is a number 765.9, this number can be written as, according to the rule, I have to move the decimal point after the first digit. So you can see here the decimal point is here. So I have to move this decimal point after the first digit. So the number takes the form 7.659, right? When I move this decimal point after the first digit, the number takes the form of 7.659. How many digits I have moved? I have moved 2 digits. So the value of n is going to become 2. Towards which side I have moved? Towards the left direction I have moved, right? This is left and this is right, right? So towards the left direction I have moved. So the powers of 10 is going to be in positive or negative? It is going to be in positive. That's why this number 2 is represented here in positive powers of 10. So this one, how it can be represented in the exponent form is as 7.659, and this 10 power 2 can be represented by the letter E followed by the exponent value. It can be represented as 02 or it can be represented as 2, or even it can be represented using the lowercase letter also, E02 or E2. In any way it can be represented. The exponent form is represented using the letter E. Okay, the powers of 10, whatever you have, that is being represented by the letter E. This is how the exponent form is written for a scientific notation. So let us see the other example, and also here when you just write a number in an exponent form, the number in the real form, okay, the number in the real form, the number in a real form, right. So the number in a fractional form is represented as mantissa, and the number as well as the letter followed by E, these are represented as exponent. So the number in real form is represented as mantissa, and the number in exponent form is represented as the exponent. Okay. So this is how the exponent form is being represented here. Let us see the other examples. How are we going to convert the fractional form into exponent form? Let us see. So we can see here the given number in the fractional form is 198.1. So this one I have to convert it into exponent form. Let us see how I am going to convert. So according to the given rule, we have to move the decimal point after the first digit of a number. So the decimal point is here, so that I will be moving after the first digit. So this number will be taking the form 1.981. So this number has taken the form 1.981. Now towards which direction I have moved, I have to see. I have moved towards the left. How many digits I have moved? 2 digits I have moved. The value of n is going to be 2. So as I have moved towards the left direction, I am just going to multiply this by 10 raised to the power of n. Okay, so it is going to be the positive powers. So when I represent this number in the exponent form, I will be representing the entire thing as it is 1.981, and then this 10 power 2, that will be represented as E02 or E2 or small letter E2, right. So, this is how we convert the fractional form into exponent form. Here there is another example, 2198.1 is there. So, as usual, this decimal point has to be moved after the first number. So, when I move the number, this number takes the form of 2.1981. And then how many digits I have moved? I have moved 3 digits I have moved. So, the value of n is going to be 3. I have moved towards the left direction. So, here I am just going to multiply by 10 power 3. The value of n is 3. So, I am going to multiply this by 10 power 3. So, the number when I am going to represent it in the exponent form, the entire number in the real form I will be writing it as it is and as 2.1981, and this 10 power 3 will be represented as E03 or capital letter E03 or capital letter E3. It can be written in any form. Let us see the other examples. What is here? So, 0.1981 is given here. So, here also this number has to be converted into the exponent form. According to that, I have to move the decimal point after the first digits, and here I am moving the decimal point 1 digit only I have moved after the number. So, the value of n is going to be 1. I have moved towards the right. So, I am going to represent this in a negative powers of 10. So, you can see after moving the digit after the first digit, it is going to become 1.981, then multiplied by 10 power minus 1. As I have moved towards the right direction, I am just going to represent it in 10 power minus 1. That is why you can see the entire number is being written as 1.981 E minus 1. Okay, here the power of 10 is minus 1. So, here also the exponent takes the form of minus 1, minus 0.1, that is also acceptable. Okay, so here there is another example, 19812.2 is there. So, this decimal point has to move after the first digit. So, how many digits it is moving? It is moving 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 digits. So, the value of n is going to be 4. It has moved towards the right direction. So, it will be taking the form 1.98122 multiplied by 10 power. So, it has moved 4 digits towards the left direction. So, it is going to be 10 power 4. Okay, it is going to be the positive powers of 10. So, you can see the exact number 1.98122 has been written as it is, and the 10 power 4, okay, that powers have been like represented as E04. So, small letters or capital letters, anything is accepted here. Let us see the next example, 19.81. How are we going to convert this fractional form into exponent form? Let us see. This decimal point has to be moved after the first digit of a given number. I have moved 1 decimal digit here. So, the value of n is going to be number 1. I have moved towards the left direction. So, when I represent this number, I will be representing it as 1.981 multiplied by 10 power 1. In positive powers only I will be representing as I have moved towards the left. When I move towards the left, I have to represent it in positive powers. When I move towards the right, I have to represent it in negative powers of 10. So, when I write this number, I will be just writing it as 1.981 and E1. So, it can be written as E01 or E01 small letter e, right, capital letter, in any way it can be represented. And here we have another example, 0.0002436. So, here also I have to move this decimal point after the first digit of a number. So, how many digits I have to move? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 digits. So, the value of n is going to be 4. I have moved towards the right direction. So, when I just represent this number, I will be representing it as 2.436 and then multiplied by how many digits I am moving? 10, and as I am moving towards the right direction, I will be representing it as minus 4. How this can be represented in the exponent form? This can be represented as 2.436 e minus 4. Here also I can use capital letter or small letter for e. So, this is how we convert the fractional form into the exponent form. This is the final example. Let us see. Here there are some numbers given as 987.7, and this number we have to convert as the exponent form. This decimal point I will be moving after the first digit of a given number. So, this can be written as 9.877. How many digits I have moved? I have moved 2 digits. So, the value of n is going to be number 2. As I have moved towards the left direction, I will be representing in positive powers of 10. So, when I represent in positive powers of 10, the same thing can be written as 9.877 E2 or E02 or small letter E02. Same as we have got another number 0.009877. In this again, this decimal point I have to move after the number 9. So, when I move after the number 9, it takes the form 9.877, and how many digits I have moved? I have moved 3 digits. So, the value of n is going to be 3. So, when I represent here, as I have moved towards the right direction, I will be representing in negative powers of 10. So, the value of n is 3. So, it is going to become minus 3. So, when I represent this one, so I will be representing as 9.877 e minus 3. So, I have represented in this way, and also I have converted all the fractional numbers into the exponent form. Now, also we have to see some of the invalid exponent forms. Some numbers when we represented in a exponent form, they become invalid. What are the reasons why they become invalid? We must know. You can see all the numbers in exponent form are invalid ones. What is the reason? For the first one, let us see. Here if you see number 1.5, e is given, after e no digit is specified. So, when there is no digit given after the exponent, this becomes the invalid real literal in exponent form. At least it should take any one digit, right. So, when there is no digit after the letter e, it becomes the invalid real literal in exponent form. Same as when you see the next example, it is 1.25 e 5.5. After e, if you see, it is represented in the floating point or fractional form. After e, it should be represented only in the integer form. The mantissa part can be in the floating point or fractional form, but the exponent part must be of a integer form. Okay. So, here but it is given in the fractional form. That is why this also becomes the invalid real literal in exponent form. The last one, here it takes a comma. Commas are not allowed in a number while representing numbers normally, but when you use this, you will not get any error. But if you use a comma between the numbers, though you have used E02 everything, that will not be considered as a number at all. That is why this also becomes the invalid real literal in exponent form. So, now let us see the next one. We have given in the previous example commas. So, I was just telling, when you use a comma between the numbers, you will not get any errors, but it will not be treated as a number, right. So, the numeric values with commas are not considered as int or float values. Rather, Python treats them as a tuple. How Python treats them? It treats them as a tuple. That is why it does not give any error, but they are not valid numbers. They are not valid integers or valid float values, right, but they will be treated as a tuple. You must know what are tuple. Tuple is a special type of Python. and it stores a sequence of values. So, when you just give a comma, it will be just considering that as a sequence of values. It will not consider as int or float. It will be considering that as a sequence of values. That is why it has not given any error. Let us see some example. Here num1 takes 2, 3, 2, 5, and I said when there is a comma, error will not be given, but it will not be treated as a number. In normal mathematics, we used to give 2, 3, 2, 5, in the sense it will be treated as a number system only, right. We consider this as a number only, but here it will not be treated as a number, it will be treated as a tuple. Let us see how it is treating it as a tuple. And also num2 I have represented as 5, 393 E02. So, I have considered this as a floating point number in an exponent form. But what happens, let us see. And third number num3 equal to 2, 3 I have given. So, this number and this number and this number, in which forms they are considered by Python programming, we will just see. So, when we check what is the type of num1, using the built-in function type, we can find what is the type of the objects. So, when I want to find what is the type of num1, it says that as tuple. So, it is considered as a tuple, it has not given as a integer or something, because there is no decimal point in it. Normally we treat this as a integer, but when you see here, that has been treated as a tuple, it has not been treated as a integer. And same as when I check what is the type of num2, that also it has been treated as a tuple. What is the reason? Because both the numbers, they have a comma in it. When there is a comma, they will not be treated as the integer number or floating point numbers, rather they will be treated as the sequence, that is as a tuple, right. So, now when I check what is the type of num3, for this alone it has given as that is a integer value, because this 2, 3, it does not have any decimal point in it, it does not have any commas also in it, right. That is why that has been treated as the integer number. So, if you want any number to be treated as integer or floating point values, you should not use commas in it, right. And then here you can see another one error statement it is given here, and also we have learned previously the exponent form, it cannot take the floating point value. But if you see here, I have given the floating point value as 2.3, right. After the letter E, we should not use any fractional value. Before the letter E, in the mantissa part, it can have the fractional value, but in the exponent part, it should not have any fractional value, right. That is why it is just giving the error invalid syntax. Now, let us see the next literal of Python, that is complex literal. We have learned about numeric literal. The numeric literal can be represented in integer form, floating point form, and also it can be represented in a complex literal form. So, how the complex literal form is going to be, that we will see. The complex number literals are of the form a plus bj, where a and b are floats and j represents square root of -1, which is the imaginary number. The complex number takes the form of a plus bj, and here in this a as well as b are treated as float values and j represents square root of -1. Here is an example given 5 plus 2j. Though I have represented in integer form, internally when they are stored, they will be stored as a floating point values like 5.0, 2.0, like that will be stored. The value of j, whether it is capital letter or small letter, the value of j is going to be square root of -1. This is the form of a complex literals. These complex literals also allowed by Python programming. The next literal of Python programming is Boolean literals. They consist of true as well as false. A Boolean literal in Python is used to represent one of the two Boolean values, that is true, Boolean true, or false, the Boolean false. So, Boolean literal in Python consists of the Boolean values true or false. And same as we have one more literal, special literal, that is none. When it comes to the special literal, the none, for what purpose we are using, we will see. Python has one special literal which is none. The none literal is used to indicate the absence of value. When there is the absence of value, to represent or to indicate the absence of value, we use the value none. Actually, none is not equal to 0. None, when there is an absence of value, we used to use it. Let us see, none literal is also used to indicate the end of list in Python. So, list is another data type of Python. To represent the end of list in Python also, we represent the value none. Let us see some of the examples. Here you can see num1 equal to 10. So, 10 is an integer value. So, that is being referenced by the variable num1, and num2, if you see, it is referencing the value none. N is capital letter, N-O-N-E. Okay, this is a special literal of Python. When there is no value, when there is an absence of value, this is not any value. Okay, when there is an absence of value, we used to use the value called none. Okay, and when I just display num1, it displays the value as number 10. When I display num2, it does not display anything, but when we use it in a print statement, the value whatever num2 contains, actually it contains the value none, that can be printed. So, printing we can do it, but displaying is not possible for the value called none. We have come to the end of session now. In this video, we have learned about numeric literal, Boolean literal and the special literal none. Let us recapitulate. Numeric literals are numeric values. The numeric values can be represented in integer form, floating point form or complex form. The integer literal can be represented in decimal form, octal form and hexadecimal form. The decimal form consists of the number beginning with 1 to 9. If a number begins with 1 to 9, then that number can be treated as the integer literal in decimal form. The integer literal in octal form consists of number beginning with 0 followed by the letter O and followed by any valid combination of numbers between 0 and 7. And also the integer literal in hexadecimal form consists of the number beginning with 0 followed by the letter X followed by any valid combination of numbers between 0 and 9 and A to F. So, the integer literal can be represented in decimal form, octal form and hexadecimal form, and also the numeric literal can be represented in a floating point form also. The floating point literals are the literals with decimal point in it. If a literal has a decimal or literal or a number, if it has a decimal point in it, it is referred as a floating point literal. The floating point literals can be represented in two forms. They can be represented in fractional form and also they can be represented in exponent form. And also we have learned about complex number literals. Also we have learned about complex number literals. The complex number literals can be represented in A plus Bj form. A and B are represented as floating point values and J is represented as square root of -1. And also we have learned about the Boolean literals. They are used to represent the Boolean values true or false. To represent the Boolean values true or false, we have the Boolean literal, and we have learned about the special literal none, which is used to represent the absence of value. We have come to the end of this session, and in this video you have learned about the numeric literals, the Boolean literals and the special literal none. In the coming videos, let us learn about the other tokens, operators and punctuators of Python. Thank you.